Avery Lake State Forest Campground is located in Michigan's Lower Peninsula between Lewiston and Atlanta. The Michigan DNR website lists this campground as having 16 campsites. However, I was only able to find 15, and the signage here would indicate only 15. If you go to the right, you go to campsites 1 through 8. If you go to the left, you go through campsites 9 through 15. And here at the campground, you have your typical registration station. Nothing exciting here except that the registration station also listed 16 campsites. I'm going to walk through the campground here. I did not see anyone staying at the campground. However, there was one grandfather and grandson using the boat launch area, which we'll also check out here at the end. Several of the sites here are pretty exposed to the sun right off the bat, but farther into the campground you get more shade as you go through here. You can see already campsite number 2 is a little bit more shaded than what the first one was. Farther down the road we come up to campsite number 3. Pretty secluded here. The campground has campsites that are pretty much spaced apart far enough that you can't hardly see your neighbor, let alone hear your neighbors, unless they're being extremely loud. It's a good little hike up the road before I come to campsite number 4. Plenty of distance between the campsites for sure. Campsite number 4 is a little bit up the hill there and to the back. I don't know if I'd want to park a big rig there and try to level it off. However, a pop-up camper or tent would fit nicely in that space. Here's campsite number 5 as we follow the loop around. You can kind of see their newer posts with campsite numbers on them. So there's been a few little upgrades. The picnic tables are a little more updated. They're definitely not as weathered as some of the state forest campgrounds I've been to. Here we have the hand pump for water, so definitely going to test that out. And then I'm just going to jump on over to the other half of the loop instead of walking all the way around for one additional campsite. The hand pump pumps pretty darn smooth, and you do get water that comes out, so that's a perk. Here's campsite number 7 right across from the water. And here you'll get a better look at the picnic tables. Like I said, they're not very rotted. They're pretty newer, probably within the last couple of years. Plus, the fire rings are the nice cemented ones, so you're not going to burn yourself on the metal. I think all the campgrounds should have those updated fire rings. Here's campsite number 9. And this is a nice big one. This is campsite number 10 here. There's so much space here. It's absolutely crazy. This is campsite number 11. And then just up the way here, we're going to come to campsite number 12. And you can see this is another nice deep site. Plenty of space here. The only thing I don't like about this campsite is that it looks like there's a little hiking path that runs along this fence line. So campsite number 12 may get some random people hiking through it on accident. This is a little path that kind of goes around the lake. I don't feel like it was meant to be a hiking trail, but it looks like people are using it that way. And here we are at 13, 14, and 15. There's a small parking space, just enough for a couple vehicles. And then you have a small hike to 13, 14, and 15. It might actually be easier access from the boat launch, but I don't believe you are allowed overnight parking there. So you have to park in the campground and then hike in. It's a very small hike, so not a big deal either way. These hike-in sites are nice sites. They're not too far from the water, and you get a picnic table and fire ring with each site still, so that's super nice. The ground isn't incredibly level, but I would imagine it's probably plenty level enough to pitch a small tent. Or heck, if you have a group, you could probably take all 3 sites and have a large group camping situation here. There is one bench to sit on down here. It's near the water, but not right on the water. But it made for a great spot to launch my drone once I take a quick look at the lake. And there is a small little sandy area here. It doesn't extend out as sandy for super far before you hit muck and debris. But there is space here to swim if you wanted to. There's a couple people using the boat launch. And I'm about to launch my drone, and we're going to take a quick look at the lake. Avery Lake is pretty popular for bass fishermen, large and smallmouth. There's also northern pike, bluegill, and crappie, as well as walleye and yellow perch supposedly in the lake. So plenty of opportunity for fishing. The water, it sounds like, is typically extremely clear. So unless you're fishing in a little bit deeper water, you can see that lure go for quite a ways. And just from up here in the air, you can see it's super clear water. Overall, I really like this campground. It seems like a nice quiet place to stay and looks like a really nice place to take out a canoe or kayak to do some fishing.